Excellencies, dear entrepreneurs, and dear friends of Croatia and Estonia. We are really sorry for a short delay, but now I'm really glad to welcome you to the virtual business forum between Estonia and Croatia, focused on e-governance and digitalization. The event is streamed via YouTube in workshop platform, and the recording will remain publicly accessible after the event. First, let me briefly introduce our agenda. Forum will be opened by the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Estonia, Ms. Eva-Maria Liimets, and the Minister of Foreign and European Affairs of Croatia, Mr. Gordan Grlić-Radman. This will be followed by the panel discussion about best practices and future goals in digitalization, Estonia and Croatia. And then we will proceed to the showcase of Estonian and Croatian companies. Due to time constraints, not all participating companies have online presentations, but let me draw your attention to the right side of your screen, where in the expo area you will find information about all companies taking part. During the forum, you will have the possibility to request P2B meetings with all these companies. And now we start, and we have a great opportunity to listen opening addresses of ministers. Minister of Foreign Affairs of Estonia, Ms. Eva-Maria Liimets, first the floor is yours.
Honorable Minister, dear Gordan, it is my great pleasure to meet you today virtually to open this Estonian and Croatian Business Forum, which provides an excellent opportunity to share ideas and best practices on e-governance and digitalization. Ladies and gentlemen, Croatia is a country which is very close to my heart. Before taking the Foreign Minister's office in the end of January this year, I had the privilege to serve as the Estonian ambassador to Croatia, a beautiful country on the Adriatic Sea. Estonia and Croatia might be geographically distant countries in the context of Europe, but being both members of the European Union, partners in NATO, and cooperating in the regional format of the Three Seas initiative, we are very close. I can say from my own experience, we share the same values and work together to achieve common goals. I hope that with all the possibilities available today, more Estonian and Croatian companies will discover each other's markets, create contacts, and facilitate trade, especially in the digital sphere, which is priority for both the Estonian and the Croatian government. Despite the COVID-19 pandemic, which has changed our everyday life and caused huge challenges to certain economic sectors and many companies, we continue our cooperation. The pandemic has fundamentally changed our lives and the ways of societies and economics are functioning. The current health crisis has clearly shown the importance of e-governance and digitalization and the need to constantly develop and contribute to those fields. Today's event and the topics the panelists and companies will address are a direct proof of that. We call all our country, Estonia, because of the great extent of ICT solutions used in business, government, and everyday life of our residents. 99% of all our public services in Estonia are available online, and therefore, even during the peak of the COVID-19 crisis, the state was fully functional and public services available without any disruption. A good example of one of the most popular digital solutions in Estonia is the e-prescription. We are very glad that from August 2020, our e-prescription also functions cross-border with Croatia. Croatia is only the second country in the EU where this solution is implementable reciprocally with Estonia. Finland was the first one, and Portugal, as well as all other EU countries, will hopefully follow the example in the near future. Besides innovative ideas, the essentials for our digital development are trust and security. Wide use of public e-solutions, like declaring the taxes electronically or voting via internet, show that Estonian citizens and residents trust our e-services. I think that this trust is based also on Estonia's strong commitment to the security of cyberspace and e-services. Cybersecurity does not exist in isolation. It is a fundamental part of information society development and supports the digital innovation. Cybersecurity is not the brake, which doesn't allow digitalization, but the enabler, which makes the rapid digital innovation possible while ensuring a wide level of trust. In Estonia, the ICT expertise lies largely in the private sector. The IT companies have built the digital solutions we use in the government. Estonian private sector values the sustainability and continues to contribute to effective public-private cooperation. The companies are constantly coming up with new initiatives. Their contribution has been enormous also during the COVID-19 crisis. Estonia's vaccination digital certificate is completed, marking another step closer to an EU-wide solution, which will help us to return to and guarantee one of the most important values of the EU, the free movement of our people. Estonian tech companies have unique know-how. They provide quick, excellent, and tailor-made solutions. They are always ready to share their experience and know-how with international partners. Many of those topics I have mentioned, what are the good examples of combining public and private sector forces, and what have been the lessons learned from the rapid process of forced digitalization, will also be discussed at the International E-Governance Conference organized by Estonian E-Governance Academy and starting today. Event takes place online and registration is still open. Dear participants, last year was even more challenging for Croatia. Gordon, Croatia did an excellent job while conducting the EU presidency during the pandemic situation. The earthquake that hit Croatia in March and December last year caused unprecedented damages in your country. I hope that ongoing reconstruction works will be finalized and your country will fully recover from this natural disaster. I hope that Estonia's contribution will also help you a bit in this difficult process. Ladies and gentlemen, our economies need a boost after restrictions and lockdowns. I believe that international cooperation through active business diplomacy is a vital part of this task. I thank you, Minister, our panelists, all participating companies, the Croatian Chamber of Economy, and everybody in the audience for joining us today. I hope today's meeting will create useful contacts between our companies and that soon we will be able also to meet each other in person. I wish you many bright ideas, good discussions, and good health. And now, dear Minister, I would like to give the floor over to you. Please, Gordon.
Dear Minister Limets, dear Eva Maria, State Secretary Gršić, Mr. Jelavić, ladies and gentlemen, with great pleasure I accepted the initiative of Minister Limets, dear Eva Maria, to host this forum on e-governance and digitalization together with our Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Estonia and Croatian Chamber of Commerce. Digitalization and digital transformation are two topics that have long been high on the EU agenda. They are key to modernizing the economy and improving state administration, as our citizens and entrepreneurs expect. The COVID-19 pandemic has accelerated changes in this direction and influenced the work of all governments around the world, turning classical modalities to digital ones. The first lockdowns in Europe occurred, as you know, at the time when Croatia was presiding the Council of the EU last year, in the first half of 2020. I can say that I'm proud on how efficiently and quickly we adapted to new situations and continued with our presidency in digital format. I'm very glad that today we are setting ground for the exchange of ideas and experience of our business people on the same topic. Relations between Croatia and Estonia are marked by understanding and friendship. We share many positions on various European and international topics. There is a solid ground for partnership within EU, NATO, 3Cs initiative and other international formats. We appreciate very much the support of Estonia for our top strategic priorities, namely Schengen and Eurozone membership. We are also pleased that Estonia shows interest, besides for the countries in its neighborhood, for the process of enlargement and the situation in Southeast Europe. It is one of the topics that, in our view, to be discussed for its strategic importance for the EU and the whole. Croatia is looking closely at the next accession round within the OECD. We appreciate Estonia's steady support of Croatia's aspiration to become a full member of the OECD. We are also thankful for the friendly reaction and support offered by Estonia after the devastating earthquakes. There is a number of areas that deserve attention in strengthening cooperation between Croatia and Estonia: defense cooperation, cyber defense, joint participation in PESCO projects and European Defence Fund. We are pleased that we joined the work of the NATO Cooperative Cyber Defense Center of Excellence in Tallinn. Croatia and Estonia share a common interest in connecting our energy infrastructure and in variety of energy sources in Central Europe. There is a good basis for improvement of economic cooperation, which has so far included electrical industry, chemicals and telecommunications. Next important topic, ICT solution in e-communication and e-services. Croatian IT industry, with more than 5,000 companies, is becoming an increasingly important industry in terms of revenue and exports. There is a place for many joint projects with Estonian firms. Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, it is our responsibility to open doors for bringing our economies closer, to find new opportunities. I am very pleased to inaugurate this forum. I am convinced that we will build strong economic ties between Croatia and Estonia in the years to come.
We thank Honourable Minister Liimets and Minister Radman for their inspiring statements. Ministers were highlighting already many important aspects of digitalization, and now we will go and continue with more in-depth panel discussion. I give a floor and lead to the capable hands of our moderator, Mr. Florian Markus, who is a digital transformation advisor at the Estonia Briefing Center. Please, Florian.
Thank you very much, and thank you so much for being with us virtually. Greetings from Tallinn. We hope that we will meet in person later on. But for now, we have a virtually convened event with 4 very interesting panelists. We've got Mr. Bernard Gršić, who is the State Secretary of the Central State Office for the Development of Digital Society. We've got Mr. Indrek Õnnik, who is the Global Affairs Director for the Estonian Government CIO Office. Mr. Gojko Jelavic, who is an independent advisor in the industry and sustainable development sector. And there's also Mrs. Anna-Greta Tsahkna, who is the Vice President of the Management Board of the Estonian Association of Information Technology and Telecommunications. First of all, I would like to thank you all for being here, and we would kick off with a small introductory speech from Mr. Bernard Gršić, who will tell us more about the state of development of e-solutions in Croatia. Let's take a look.
Thank you, dear ministers, distinguished participants of the Economic Forum, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very honored to greet you on behalf of the Central State Office for the Development of the Digital Society and myself. I would like to emphasize the good cooperation between Estonia and Croatia, which I myself had the opportunity to see during my 3 visits of Estonia. Estonia is an outstanding example of excellence in digital advanced countries, which are successful in the field of digital transformation of society and economy. In Croatia, we have been working intensively on the digitalization of public administration for the last 5 years, considering the Tallinn Declaration a very important signpost for the further development of digitalization in all areas of society and the economy. The framework vision of the declaration continues to strive at all levels of public administration for the following: openness, efficiency, and inclusiveness, ensuring comprehensive public services for all citizens and businesses that are borderless, interoperable, personalized, and user-friendly. In Croatia, digitalization is carried out according to the Tallinn Declaration, which aims to accelerate the process of digital transformation, and it includes digitization as a standard, the principle of only once, reliability, openness, transparency, and the principle of interoperability as standards. The new coronavirus pandemic, which suddenly hit the world, caused a chain of closure of states and economies, causing the biggest economic crisis since World War II. The coronavirus pandemic has proven to be an accelerator in the application of digital solutions in both the private and public sector. So it is not too bold to say that in one way this epidemic has forced us to make a big, not only mental, but also practically applicable leap when it comes to using various digital solutions. Digital technologies are used in many sectors such as agriculture, healthcare, transportation, education, retail, automation, energy, shipping, logistics, teaching, and the information and communication technology industry. I would especially like to point out the online teaching during the lockdown, which we have successfully implemented in all Croatian schools. For a successful and inclusive digital society, the development of digital skills is crucial. I would like to point out the indivisible components of the digital society, among which synergies are needed: the digital economy, digital public administration, digital society of citizens, and a secure digital environment. I would point out that technology that used to be the digital future, like artificial intelligence, blockchain, Internet of Things, big data, and 5G are now the digital present, noting that the real deal is yet to come. I wish all participants a successful and constructive work. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Mr. State Secretary, for this overview. And you touched on many important topics, international interoperability, but also more specific services such as in e-education. Maybe it would be useful for us to situate this within the wider Croatian context. And Mr. Jelavic is active as a CCE and secretary of the IT Association. Mr. Jelavic, maybe you can give us an overview of the current state of the Croatian IT infrastructure and companies.
Hello everyone, I would like to welcome you in the name of the Croatian Chamber of Economy. My name is Gojko Jelavic and I am Secretary of IT Affiliation in Croatian Chamber of Economy. Last year we made research regarding IT environment in Croatia, and we have some numbers which are pretty precise. So the last year Croatian IT industry generated total revenue of 26 billion kunas, or let's say, for example, around 4 billion euro, in addition to the annual growth of 12.4%. This is the fifth year in a row that the turnover of domestic IT companies is dynamic growing. The average annual growth rate in the period from 2014 until 2020 reached 11.2%. At the same time, total revenue realized in foreign markets grew even faster. According to average percentage of the growth, we talk about 14.9%, while sales in the domestic market were somewhat more moderate, increased around 11%. What is very important to emphasize is also export. In a total revenue over a 5-year period increased from 25% to 30% last year. Croatian IT industry growth driven by moderate domestic, especially export demand used by software developers, a new wave fast-growing export-oriented companies, and several hundred program micro companies, largely foreign-owned, whose annual growth in turnover and exports often exceeds 50. In the 2019, the number of IT companies in the country reached 5,780 companies and represents 4.2% of the total companies in the non-financial sector of the Croatian economy. In the last 5 years, the number of IT companies increased by 7.8%, which means 5.5% overall economy. Also, the Croatian IT industry reached 33,000 employees, which represent 3.4% of total number of employees in the non-financial industry in Croatia. According to labor force survey, another source that talks about the number of employed with professionals ICT activities in 2020, the ICT specialist is around 53,700. One very important number to emphasize is also monthly net salary in the Croatian IT industry, which is around 9,000 kunas or around 1,300 euro, which is not very competitive when we talk about other EU markets, but it is competitive when we talk about Croatian average salary. Also, the part of the export in the total revenue of IT industry is around 1 billion euro, which is a pretty big percentage in the total revenue of the IT industry. As last thing that I would like to emphasize is segments of the IT industry in Croatia. We can talk about providers of IT services, the production of IT equipment and trade in IT and trade in IT products. In the structure of the Croatian IT industry in terms of total revenue, far most of it is accounted for IT services, more than 70%. After that is trade, 26%, and manufacturing, the remaining 3%. So that was a short overview of Croatian IT industry and some results of the research that we made the last year. The research document is pretty big. It has more than 100 pages, and it's also available on the Croatian Chamber of Economy website and also on the website of Digital Chamber. I'm at your disposal for all questions that you have.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jelavic, for this overview and also for promising us a good bedtime reading of more than 100 pages for the next few days. So very much looking forward to that as well. Maybe it would be good right now to ask Mrs. Tsahkna, who is in a very similar position within the Estonian ITL. Can you tell us more about what the state of Estonian IT companies is and how public-private partnership has grown in Estonia over the last few decades?
Thank you very much. Dear listeners, I'm really happy to be part of this event. And ITL, or Estonian Association of Information Technology and Telecommunications Companies, has over 100 members. And it is important to mention that Estonia has understood that IT is everywhere. So we don't have only IT companies being members of our organization, but also the banks, legal service providers, and transportation companies. Because literally what we see is that each and every part of the economy needs to deal with the IT and digitalization. And looking back to our history, we can say that actually the first steps towards e-governance were made already more than 20 years ago. And I think it's very important to illustrate that Croatia has a really good position, in a sense that from this seminar we can see that there's a true commitment from the political level or political side, because what we see is that actually the technology itself forms only 1/3 of the whole change or the whole digital transformation. So 2/3 are actually consisting from the political decision making and the willingness to change, and then the technology follows. So I think it's really, really important that the country is kind of declaring this on the really high level, that the digitalization is the goal towards everybody is working. And I think from Estonia, it is really important to note that the public and the private sector has worked very closely to build up the e-Estonia. And as it was mentioned already in the beginning of this seminar, then actually this IT expertise lies in the private sector, and a lot of this kind of innovation initiatives comes also from the public sector. So in a sense, the public and private sector needs to work together. It's not also very wise to allocate only the public funds or the budget to build up the e-governance systems, but rather to seek for the potential cooperation in every field that would benefit the private sector, as well lower any bureaucratic burden related to public services. So definitely I'm looking from this seminar a fruitful cooperation between the two countries. I must mention that I already see potential interest from the Croatian state forest side. I don't know if it's related to this event or not, but definitely I think that both of the parties have really many things to contribute into this fruitful partnership.
Thank you so much for that overview. And yeah, as you mentioned, digitalization is not just a question of e-government, but also, it can go into the wood industry, into the fishery industry, and all these other ranges. So there's certainly a lot of overlap between Estonia and Croatia. Both have quite a lot of coastline as well. So I'm sure that there are industries that can learn from one each other. My last question for one particular speaker would go to Indrek Õnnik, who is the Global Affairs Director of the Estonian Government CIO Office. My question to you is, what has been the state of Estonian-Croatian cooperation so far in the area of IT? And maybe you can tell us a bit more about what Estonia's future plans in the area of e-government are.
Thank you, Mr. Markus. Well, of course, our Minister of Foreign Affairs already mentioned that we have now the e-prescription project, which is a European project, but working also with Croatia, which is a great thing. Another thing that has happened before already, I believe 12 or 13 years ago, there was a wider project from the Estonian private sector that was also including Croatia to make, to explain perhaps, and also give our knowledge is what we already had experienced by that time about the digital transformation in different aspects. We're talking about border crossing or transportation logistics, general reforms of legislation and so on, what we experienced ourselves, and perhaps others could learn from that as well. That's what we saw. Another aspect that I wanted to point out, which is a very important aspect and also goes back to what or echoes back what the state Secretary also mentioned about the Tallinn Declaration and how Croatia is following it currently. As you remember, the Tallinn Declaration, as the name suggests, came out during our presidency of the Council of the European Union, and we, of course, wanted to promote one very important aspect or I want to emphasize a very important aspect of this, which is that we talked not only about digital transformation and certain principles like once only and interoperability. We also spoke about a very important aspect, which is not only the free movement of goods, services, people and capital, but also the free movement of data. So in that kind of same framework, it is very good to see that when we talk about free movement of data and accepting each other's data, the quality of data, and also the different technical aspects of data, then there's also one thing that pops to my mind, which is that we both actually notified our e-identity schemes on the same day in the European Union, which was, if I remember correctly, the 7th of November in 2018, which goes to show that actually Estonia and Croatia were one of the first countries that already adopted the e-IDAS or ADAS regulation, and also were able to provide a high level, high assurance level digital identity to their people. And what is our job from government to government is to make this as interoperable cross-border as possible. Now, when we talk about Estonia and Estonian previous challenges, and I would keep myself from maybe repeating what my Minister of Foreign Affairs or the previous speaker spoke, but we had certain challenges already 20, 25, 30 years ago that we really needed to focus on. One of them being that we wanted to provide the best services possible at that time to all of our people on equal terms, which meant that financially speaking, we weren't able to build government offices everywhere. So we had to seek a way which enabled us to do it alternatively. Our way was to doing it digitally, providing people with the tools to access their computers and access government services remotely. This goes back to the digital identity card. This goes back to the interoperability layer that we use, but also goes back to the public and private partnership. And as it was mentioned by the previous speaker, Ms. Tsahkna as well, is that the members of ITL are not only IT companies. It's a vast variety of different private sector companies, including banks and telcos as well. Because even back then, we realized that the partnership, public-private partnership, gives us the opportunity to move forward faster, and also for the people to adopt the new services faster. And then, of course, starting gradually building better and better services ourselves. Another thing that I wanted to point out for me is which is important, and when we go back to the Tallinn Declaration, a lot of people refer to it, and I refer to it, and we talk about certain principles in our digital government. We talk about once only principle. We talk about citizen-centric, being citizen-centric or citizen-centric approach. We talk about government as a platform and how shared platforms make you faster. But one thing that I would point out as a core principle of fast digital transformation is the public and private partnership. And maybe not to talk about how we're trying to emerge, we're trying to adopt emerging technologies, rather than how we are trying to work even better together with our private sector and perhaps private sectors globally, including the Croatian private sector, is that we have understood a long time ago that the foundation of any type of innovation and change is really the regulations. The laws and regulations cannot be too burdening. They have to be precise, but at the same time flexible enough to give us the ability to adopt also new or emerging technologies, and also to co-create and work together even better. That's why I think it's a very good example to point out that recently in our parliament we adopted a new amendment to the State Assets Regulation or State Assets Act, which enables us to actually give licenses to different domains from the public sector and put up the source code even better, or upload the source code even better to our source code or government source code repository for everyone to use and reuse, build upon it, co-create with the government, and then also perhaps commercially come up with new solutions and sell it globally. And this is how we would really like to support our own ICT sector. Another aspect that I wanted to mention maybe briefly is that since 2019 we have a kind of a digital state framework which enables to approach the Estonian government and test out different solutions. If a private sector company comes to us and says, hey, I have this great solution, it hasn't been used before in the public sector, I think it might be useful for you, let's have a project together and see how it works. And if it does work well, they will of course receive a very, very happy client from the side of the government, or a reference client. At the same time, they can promote their solution globally as one crucial part of the Estonian digital government infrastructure. And these are the maybe smaller, but at the same time with huge impact, things that we have done to even promote more the public-private partnership between Estonian ICT sector and ICT sectors globally, and also the government. Because although it has been mentioned by myself already probably 5 times, and Ms. Tsakna mentioned it, and also the previous speakers mentioned it, but when we talk about digitalization, then the government, first of all, cannot do everything by itself and shouldn't do everything by itself. There are different responsibilities that can be assigned to different parties, and if there's something that we know already that the private sector has the competences, have the know-how, have the experience to help us with, then why not ask this help? And that's why we hugely value public-private partnership here in the Estonian government.
Mr. Ennek, thank you so much for this overview, and I think we've all gotten an appetite for not just a public-private partnership, but also the partnership between Estonia and Croatia. Thank you so much to all the panelists for your contributions, and thank you so much for watching. I would hand over back to Dina.
Yes, thank you, Florian, and I'm really sorry that we had to cut this interesting and forward-looking panel in short, but we want to show also what is available at the current moment. So I will open the floor to Estonian and Croatian entrepreneurs, and I will do that in alphabetical order. Each presenter has 2 minutes, and I kindly ask presenters to be punctual. Showcase will be opened by International Sales Executive Ožen Bielogric from Agrivi. The floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Greetings to all the participants. If I can see my presentation, there we go. I'm representing today international agri-tech company Agrivi, and I will tell you a couple things where we are, what we do. We work with the private as well as with the public sector. But feel free if you can skip to the next slide. All right. To tell you a little bit about the vision, we are changing the way the food is produced, positively impacting over 1 billion people. Next slide, please. With the mission to empower farmers and agri-food companies with digital agricultural solutions to reach them environmentally and sustainable food production that is now more than ever needed, especially as outlined from the European Union, the focus on the agriculture itself, more specifically digital agriculture. If you can turn on the next slide to give you a couple words about Agrivi. We are a global ag-tech company with offices in UK, Croatia, obviously Romania and Poland, and we are the leading company in farm management software. We have customers all around the world in 100 plus countries, including Estonia, and currently we have 40 plus employees. Next slide, please. These are some of our customers worldwide from the public sector as well as from the private. And to the next slide, to kind of for you to get the overview of the market recognitions that you can Google that are available online. And next slide. This is how you should view where we try and position ourselves as a central platform for all farm agronomy and business operations for different stakeholders within organizations and connecting to various systems. And next slide, please. And kind of leave you to it with these top values of Agrivi, with the business organizations, resource management, and all agro and business planning for various stakeholders. Thank you all.
And I also thank and first Estonian company to present this Bergmann Technologies, and I give a floor to sales lead, Mr. Hans Leis.
Hello, everyone. I hope you are having a good day. My name is Hans Leis, and I'm the sales lead of company Bergmann Technologies. Could I see my slides, please? Imagine yourself driving home. You are exhausted. It's nighttime. It's raining, and you see this kind of view. Can you see the pedestrian? I ask you. I believe not, but let's together just blink for a second. Let's do the blink now. Yep, there is a pedestrian now. But this kind of situations really happen in our too often in our everyday traffic. We want to eliminate this kind of situations. We have developed a product called Smart Pedestrian Crosswalk. It monitors everything around the crosswalk and makes pedestrian more visible for the driver. We have 4 backlighted signs for better understanding of the crosswalk. We use 2 cameras to detect the pedestrians and 2 radars to detect the vehicles at the same time. We use LED warning lights on the pole that will turn on, of course, automatically when the pedestrian steps on a crosswalk. What we do with these cameras and radars and everything, we gather anonymous data that can be accessed in our customer portal. We can count the cars, see their speeds, see from where did the pedestrian come and where did he or she go, and basically analyze the data for further city planning. What is different about us? We have developed a unique solution. We call it active accident prevention. We combine the data from the radar about the vehicles from these blue arrows with the data about the pedestrians from the camera view to analyze whether the pedestrian and vehicle are going to have an accident or not. If the software understands that they are going to have an accident, we will send out an audio signal for the pedestrian so he or she can maybe react and avoid this unpleasant situation. We are looking for innovative cities. to increase the pedestrian safety while collecting valuable data for better city planning in Croatia. Our very good partner on your market is already A1 Hrvatska, who is helping us, and soon we will be on the roads of your beautiful country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much from my side also. And next we go back to Croatia. CEO of company Citus, Mr. Tomislav Bronzin.
Thank you very much. My name is Tomislav Bronzin, as you said, and I'm a founder and CEO of the Citus company that was founded 20 years ago. So all the time that we have been in the market, we have some growth, and especially in the last few years, we have very, very high growth in worldwide regions. It's mainly because we have a lot of awards for our innovations. We have more than 70 awards for innovations and more than 5 registered patents. And this is what maybe differentiates us from other IT companies in the world, that all the things that we are doing are on the cutting edge, and we are doing this based on our own research and development. What is also very interesting, that we are a software development company, but we are producing our own platforms and products. And these platform and products are serving us to realize custom projects for our customers, for special customers. And one of them was Croatian government last year, where we actually supported EU presidency of the European Commission in Croatia. We are also providing consultancy and education in the area of digital transformation and also the architecture, business and IT architecture. We have a huge knowledge and experience in implementation of Microsoft platforms, and several legacy projects and customers that we are actually transforming using this knowledge that we are also sharing with our customers. We have a number of innovative products which are using AI and also computer vision in the field of artificial, not just artificial intelligence, but augmented reality, mixed reality, virtual reality. We also have different things that we produce for different customers. But what is most important, we have also the things that we have developed for the worldwide market, and we are hoping to cooperate with the companies in Estonia as well. Thank you very much.
Yes, we also hope that you can find good cooperation partners from Estonia. And next, Business Development Manager, Ms. Kristiina Omri from Cybexer Technologies. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you for the opportunity to participate on the virtual visit. Cybexer Technologies is a cybersecurity technology company. If I can see, yes, thank you for the slide. We are an Estonian company active worldwide. We say that our task is to create the human firewall. And we are especially specialized on the cyber range technologies. Cyber ranges development, maintenance, and running on exercises on the cyber ranges. We have also won a NATO Defense Innovation Award for the visualization of this cyber range. And we do also technical events. We have also had a chance to carry out one of the biggest cyber range exercise in cooperation with NATO Cyber Defense Center of Excellence, with more than 1,000 participants and 5,000 virtual machines. We do also strategic exercises for political and business leaders, so for the people responsible for the institutions, but not necessarily with tech background. We have had the chance to be the strategic partner for European Defence Agency in the exercises, but have also experiences with carrying out the exercises for different EU institutions and governments. Last but not least, the e-learning and risk assessment. As said, the human firewall is important. Those solutions are for the public, but also for private sector. In Estonia, we have been a partner for the National Information Security Authority for years for carrying out this e-learning on cyber hygiene for the whole public sector. Underneath, you can see some of our references. We've been the partner for the National Defense Forces in developing our products, which are now in widely use in the public, but also in the private sector. Thank you for the attention. Looking forward to B2B meetings.
Thank you. And we go back to Croatia, and we are going to listen founder and CEO of Galiot Aero, Mr. Marino Tudor.
Good afternoon to everyone. My name is Marino Tudor, and I'm the founder of Galiot Aero company. Galiot Aero is an agile software company specialized in safety and compliance solutions in aviation. In aviation, all service providers like airports, airlines, air traffic control, and even national civil aviation authorities are required to meet very high performance-based and risk-based regulations issued in EU by European Aviation Safety Agency. This is a quite demanding task, and our solution, especially safety management and audit management, can help them first to obtain and maintain their certificates to work. And second, even more important, to improve the level of safety and to implement data-driven decision-making approach. In our solution, we are also using machine learning and natural language processing techniques for understanding and extract information from any kind of free format text. Currently, Galiot has been used in aviation, but we believe that at least some of our solution can also be implemented and successfully implemented in other high regulated industry like marine transportation, energy, healthcare, biotech industry, and something more. That's all. Thank you for your attention and for the opportunity to present what we are doing.
Thank you. And I invite Mr. Madis Sassiaid, a board member of Estonian company GoSwift, to take the floor. Please.
Hello. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm board member of GoSwift, and I'm pleased to present some of information about the GoSwift. So we are doing the seamless traffic flow, and it is made in a way that we are creating this kind of a scheduling system that ensures that those vehicles are arriving at the right time. So basically what it is that there is no queues, no concession, no such kind of physical lines beside the road, no at the border, no, not at the port. And this is, let me tell you how it really works. So first of all, it is very easy. It is just 1, 2, 3, plan, book, and go. So basically, first of all, you need to plan. It means that you need to find the date and time which is most suitable for you to go to somewhere. Then you need to book. It means that you need to register, and then you simply start going. So here you see what kind of data we can collect through this kind of a booking system. So it means that there is many of the things that we can already make available for the authorities who are asking this kind of information. Then there is also many of the things made for the drivers. So it is very easy to get to the place. The special apps are made for these kind of things, and makes also possible to see what kind of next bookings are on coming. And then, of course, there is many of the things for the authorities where you can see that which vehicles are on time or which are on a little bit late. So next goal is for us to create this kind of automated border crossing or automated access control. We have many of things available on this functionality as well. And what we do is that we provide many of those products and services, which I will not go very in detail, but here you can just see some of them. And we have started 2011. We have 40 and plus employees, 6 branches in different countries. We have many of the operations in many of the places, and now we have trying to find some things in other countries as well. So you're most welcome to contact with me, and then we try to find the ways how to collaborate. Thank you.
We thank CoSpeed. Next, I invite Mr. Goran Rmoš, CEO from Infosit. Please over to Croatia.
Hello to everyone, and hello from the sunny side of the Adriatic coast. I'm in the capital city of Croatia if we talk about tourism. So the tourism is the main industry in Croatia, and as some of you already mentioned, that the summer vacation is something that people like to spend with their families and friends on the sea. Our company is 18 years in the market, providing solutions for hospitality industry to give them the opportunity to present and for their customers to buy the services that they have. So I will talk to you a little bit about us, about destination management framework, our product, and the references for this product. So the needs of today's hospitality industry are not just to have the website or the central CMS system. They need to have digital experience platform as the central place for all information that they want to provide to the customers. This is crucial because in today's days, people are using watches, digital watches, mobile devices, and every other devices to get together information. Because of this, we decided to create the system that we call Destination Management Framework, which directly helps companies to boost their direct bookings. Why is this important? It's important because having direct booking for hospitality industry, they decrease the expenses regarding the fees that they are paying to agencies and other companies that are helping them to bring the guests. So direct bookings are crucial in today's time, even in this post-pandemic world when we are searching for the best way to keep and earn our money. In short, the destination management framework is the main part is the edit system, the backend that provides all data that need to be managed by the company. And of course, there is a website on which all these data are presented on different devices. The API which connects the system with all booking and payment providers, and of course, mobile applications. We have references in many prominent companies in Croatia. We're looking forward to help other companies in Estonia. Thank you.
Thank you. And we really hope that the hotel HoReCa sector will have a fast recovery. And now I will give floor to Mr. Riho Kruuv, Lever Code from Estonia. Please, the floor is yours.
Honorable ministers, dear participants of the Estonian Czech business mission, we are very pleased to take part of this important event, and thank you for the opportunity to present both Lever Code and our primary product, Lever ID, a post-quantum capable digital identity and signature platform to you. Very shortly, what is Lever Code? We are the company that helps governments and companies to execute digital transformation. We design and model data governance systems, including digital identification, signing, and interoperability platforms. And we also we turn trust-based solutions into proof-based platforms. Also, we secure the compliance of the data systems with the regulatory environment and assess the attack surface of the existing IT systems for governments and companies. Our primary products are Lever ID, a post-quantum capable digital identity and signature platform, which will be the major topic for this presentation today. But we also have a data blueprint. It's more like a service, and it's creating technical roadmap to achieving low risk, reliable and sustainable e-government ecosystem for the governments. So what is Lever ID? Lever ID is a single identity and signature platform, and it's created both for utilization by governments and business verticals. It's fully customizable platform with post-quantum capability, universal login functionality, and robust security. You can see in this image that on the left side, there are mostly like government services and some of the areas where governments are mostly active. And on the right pillar, you find more commercial applications. Its Lever ID is together with data exchange layer and data registers are usable in both of these pillars. So what makes Lever ID special? As it's been said already, it's post-quantum capable platform, meaning that once the post-quantum cryptography standards will be established, it's very easy to switch Lever ID into these standards. It's different from RSA. It utilizes Edwards curve digital signature algorithms, and it's meant both for countries and businesses. So governments and companies can use it as well. Lever ID is white labeling product, so governments and countries can adjust it according to the needs. They can rename it, they can rebrand it. The core of the platform will remain the same, but it's possible to really change it for the use of the country. This is the full list of the benefits. Some of them have been already covered, and it's relatively easy to integrate. It's faster than RSA-based identity solutions. It's scalable and flexible, so it can be easily used for Croatia. And it is designed for mobile phones first. It can be used also using computer, but it's mobile first platform. So with Lever ID, basically there are like three major components. There's server application and HCM. There is mobile device application. This is what you need to do to authenticate yourself and give digital signatures. And there's also APIs for relaying parties. So if vendors, banks, hospitals, organizations like that, they need API to make this platform useful and usable for them. That concludes my short presentation about Lever ID, and obviously we are available for both for governments and interested companies for interaction and discussion, and we hope to carry on this conversation with you in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And again, we go back to Croatia, and we have Mr. Ivan Jelušić, founder of Orca, in front of us. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. I'll still wait for my presentation. Okay, thank you so much. Once again, my name is Ivan Jelušić. We're a Croatian company called Orca. Basically, we are one of the leading companies in the field of FPV systems. Our technology is basically low latency video transport technology stack. Our technology enables remote control of drones and autonomous vehicles. There are 3 co-founders in the company, but in total we are about 50 plus people, a team, vertically integrated company with full product development know-how in-house. We have 3 offices in Croatia, Ireland, and Washington, DC. We do a lot of projects in different UAV scenarios. I think, in essence, we are a defense company. Basically, we apply most of our technology blocks in defense field. Recently, we started exploring public safety niches. So the product that I want to show you, it boils down to, I have a short slide, just give me a sec. Basically, this is what our technology does. When you call 911 center, usually information received on 911 call is the only piece of information the public safety officer will have until it arrives on a crime scene location. What we do is we connect through our software solutions, 911 call centers, and autonomous drones that are set up in docking stations. Basically, our technology enables something we call early situational awareness, and it's gonna improve time to react of early responders by at least 3 to 4 times. I'm happy to explain this product and portfolio in more details during B2B talks. Thank you for this attention, and thanks.
Thank you. And last but not least, Estonian company Turnit is presented by CEO Mr. Andres Osula. Please go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Sorry for not presenting, but I believe our message is quite clear and simple. Turnit is a travel technology company. We provide central reservation and booking management systems for ground-based transportation providers. By that we mean mainly rail and bus operators. What we do is basically the same as Amadeus does for the overall travel industry. We process and handle all of the transactions, the tickets, the reservations, all the pricing, everything that is evolving around the business of moving passengers from one place to another. We work in a global scale. We work today with companies in Europe, in US, in Africa, and usually we work with the leading operators in those regions. Altogether, our 50 people in Estonia's office are helping more than 20 million people a year to have a very swift and comfortable journey on their travels. Estonia has been a great place to test out new ideas. So all of the features and functionalities we develop into our platform are available to all of the customers around the world. So it creates this hugely innovative common understanding of how to take care of our customers. And yeah, so it's a cloud-based platform, easy to handle, very scalable. So once the travel returns, we will be ready to cater our customers. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. This was very good conclusion that Estonia is good place for testing, and similarly Croatia. And it has been really wide and display of innovative enterprises and smart solutions. I hope you saw many opportunities for cooperation or got already new ideas for new solutions. I thank all presenters and wish them success in their endeavors. Honored ministers, panelists, dear entrepreneurs, this brings us to the end of the first part of our virtual business forum between Estonia and Croatia. We will not have a break because B2B and B2G meetings have already started, so please go ahead if you have a pre-booked meeting. If you have, then you can request meeting with companies in a matchmaking area that you can find in a sidebar on the right. If you wish to set up a meeting for a different date and time, I encourage you to contact companies directly via email addresses that you will find under their profiles in Expo area. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Estonian Ministry of Foreign Affairs Business Diplomacy Division, I would like to thank all colleagues in Tallinn and Zagreb for the excellent cooperation and everybody for joining us today or watching the recording later. Have a wonderful networking and stay healthy.